From Eldridge Park in Orleans, Massachusetts, the Harwich Mariners take their first road game on the season, visiting the 1-0 Orleans Firebirds, coming off a win against the Hyannis Harbor Hawks on opening night of the 100th Cape Cod baseball season last night here in Cape Cod. Good evening, everyone, and welcome into tonight's game broadcast here on the Harwich Mariners Network. Wyatt Kopelman and my broadcast partner, Devin Dobek. We're delighted to have you along. Without further ado, we bring you into the visiting lineup. So the 1-0 Harwich Mariners leading off and playing center field, number 36, Jacob Humphrey, the UMass Lowell product. Batting second, the CSU Northridge product, the shortstop, number 30, Ali Camarillo. Batting third, the third baseman, wearing number 31, Kalen Culpepper of Kansas State. Batting cleanup, the left fielder, number 27, Kennedy Jones. Batting fifth, the designated hitter, number 32, Hunter Fitzgerald. Batting sixth, the second baseman, number 25, Seaver King. Batting seventh, the first baseman, number 10, Matt Scannell of Princeton University. Batting eighth, the catcher, number 11, Brian Arndt, getting his first starting nod behind the dish today. And rounding out the starting nine for 20th-year head coach Steve Angler, the right fielder, number 14, Eric Arado, making his season debut. On the mound for the Orleans Firebirds, playing in their first home game here in 2023, Cam Leiter, the former UCF transfer, the nephew of Al Leiter, two-time All-Star and three-time World Series champion. Devin, quite a challenge for Harwich to go against here today.
Yeah, it should be interesting. Harwich had their struggles here last season with a losing record, but it's a new season, new roster. You got to turn the page, and looking forward to a good one here, which is also going to be a regionally televised game. So a lot for these players to look forward to as Nesson's in the house. Be sure to tune into that. I think that there's rumors of a Harwich Mariners commercial airing on there, so looking forward to that.
We'll bring you today's defensive alignment for the homestanding Orleans Firebirds. From left to right in the outfield, King Jr., Overn, and Micheletti. From third to first, Blake Furrow on the left side of the infield, Urso and Hyde over at second and first. The battery mate to Cam Leiter. The right-hander is Hunter. As we are set for baseball here at Eldridge Park, Leiter winds and deals the first pitch. Fastball runs high and inside for ball number one. As we're underway in Orleans at 5:06 p.m., 72 degrees, partly sunny skies, winds blowing south at 5 miles per hour. The 1-0 on the way. Taken high for a strike, another fastball. It's 1-1 here to leadoff man in Humphrey. Just underway, no score here in Orleans. Harwich wearing its road Navy uniforms after wearing the cream last night. The pitch, spike back behind home plate. It's 1-2 as Humphrey will have to protect here. No score. Beautiful night for baseball. The wind blowing slightly out to right field. The American flag drifting out towards the right field fence. 434 to dead center. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball on the upper inside corner as it gets called looking. A beautiful slider that time from Leiter as there's one away here. The first strikeout for the Firebird starter tonight.
And Humphrey had his struggles yesterday, went 0 for 5 back in that leadoff spot. Had a pair of punch-outs as well, so unfortunately picking up right where he left off, but I'm sure he'll turn it around. A very successful hitter last season for the Riverhawks, and he's definitely got a lot to prove.
Here's Ali Camarillo for the first time here today. Collected his first hit on the Cape Cod baseball season last night in a 1 for 5 debut. The first pitch he sees is swung on and hit to shallow center field. Camping under is going to be the center fielder Overn, as there are two away here on 5 pitches.
Yeah, 2 quick outs is what you're going to get, unfortunately, early on here at Eldridge. But Harwich, their problem was they took their foot off the gas yesterday, had just 1 hit throughout the last 6 innings of play. So got to find a way to consistently get runners on, and starting early would be huge. So a little rally could really turn things around and be contagious.
And where better to look, Devin, than the rising junior at Kansas State in Kalen Culpepper, still looking for his first hit on the season as he watches a breaking ball miss the lower half for ball number 1.
Well, yeah, he may be looking for his first hit, but he actually was hit twice yesterday, leads the league in that statistic through 1 game.
Leiter with the pitch, lined over towards the right side. Tough play for Hyde at first. He gets up, fires onto Leiter, covering on the bag. An excellent play right down from one knee. Hyde recovered well in time. A 1-2-3 job here in the visitors' half of the first. A strikeout, looking a fly out, and a ground out as well for Harwich. No runs across, no hits as we go to the bottom half of the first momentarily. You're listening to Harwich Mariners Baseball on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. A 1-2-3 job for the Firebirds starter in Cam Leiter as Tim Noon, the Babson product, steps on the mound here to face the leadoff hitter in Austin Overn here for Orleans. No score going into the bottom half of the first here from Eldridge Park. Home opener for the Firebirds, first road game for the Mariners. The first pitch taken high for a ball. Bringing you the home nine here for Orleans on the afternoon. Leading off and playing center field, number 2, Austin Overn. Batting second, number 14, the left fielder, Eddie King Jr. Next pitch, taken just low. It's quickly 2-0 to Overn. The 3 hole hitters, the first baseman, number 30, Jake Hyde. The cleanup hitter, designated hitter, number 6, Drew Metzdorf. 5 hole hitter, right fielder, number 24, Eddie Micheletti. As a 2-0 misses outside, it's 3-0 here. Batting 6th, the third baseman, number 35, Andy Blake. Batting 7th, the shortstop, number 7, Drew Furrow. Batting 8th, the catcher, number 40, Henry Hunter. 3-ball pitch. Change-up taken down the middle. It's 3-1. Rounding out the starting 9 for longtime Orleans head coach Kelly Nicholson. Number 11, the second baseman, J.D. Urso. 3-1 on the way. Skied back behind home plate. It's 3-2. First payoff pitch of the afternoon.
Noon, a native of Needham, Massachusetts, so not too far from here. Got to be pretty cool for those guys that grow up in Mass. I'm sure he's been to a game before this, now playing in the league.
3 years at Babson going into the summer. The breaking ball tapped over towards the left side. Bouncing ball for King. Fires on to first well in time. And there's one away. The leadoff man gone here for Orleans in the bottom of the first with no score.
A great job there. Showing great tenacity was Tim Noon, able to pitch back from being down 3-0 in the count, work it all the way back, and then get an easy ground ball out. Nice thing to see this early on in the ball game.
So over and grounds out. First pitch swung on and missed from Eddie King Jr., the left fielder. First strike number 1. Outfielder, staying at 6'2", 195, the Louisville product. 0-1 on the way. Lace back up the middle, off the glove of King at second, and as it dribbles into center field. And that'll be ruled as likely an error on the second baseman, King.
Yeah, still waiting for the official scoring, but it was a weird play, and you got to factor in that setting sun as well, hurting the visibility. But King, yeah, probably should have had that one just hit so hot off the bat, popped right out of the webbing. And so that'll be a reach for King.
Single to second here for King, the ruling. The first pitch on the way. It almost hits Jake Hyde as it goes inside on the belt for ball 1. One out base runner here for Orleans. No score between Orleans and Harwich here in the first road game of the season for the Mariners. Pitch taken low and outside, and it's 2-0 here to the 3-hole hitter in Jake Hyde.
King making his debut as well, and the Mariners, the only team in the Cape Cod Baseball League that did not make an error, of course, excluding Chatham and Katuitt, whose game was postponed.
Changeup goes off the outer half for ball 3 here to Jake Hyde. Darien, Connecticut native, rated as the number 1 first baseman and 13th overall best player coming out of the state of Connecticut. 3-0. Goes outside for ball 4, as that'll slide King into second on a 1-out walk, and there are 2 aboard here for Orleans with no score in the bottom of the first.
Mariners walked 3 men yesterday. Luckily, it didn't hurt them at all as they were able to hold on and win that one 4-3. But yesterday, a lot of the defense was relied on. As we mentioned, no errors. Kalen Culpepper was fantastic over at short. He's been moved over to third base today, but Mariners going to need some D.
Spiked high in the infield here. Infield fly rule applied. Moving under King, just about 10 feet behind the pitcher's mound for out number 2 here. P4 in the scorebook, 2 away. Runners on first and second. King on second. On first, Hyde, no score. As Noon will look for one more here to close out the home half of the first.
Critical out there. The runners unable to advance, and you're able to just add another out to the tally. Now focus on the batter. Get out of the inning scoreless.
Eddie Micheletti stepping in. The southpaw watches one go off the outer half for ball number 1. That time a changeup from Noon. Making his season debut here tonight. Micheletti Jr., rising senior, native of Wilmington, Delaware. Hit .348 this season in 55 games. Taps one softly down the left field line, and it's going to roll just foul. Charging on was Culpepper, getting the start at third today. As we bring you the defensive alignment for Harwich here on this afternoon. From left to right in the outfield, Jones, Humphrey, and Arado. On the corners at third, Culpepper, Scannell at third and first. Middle infield at short, Camarillo at second. King, the battery mate to Tim Noon, the Babson College product, is Arendt, the UNC Wilmington native. Traffic on the base pass here for Orleans, wearing its home white uniforms with red script in Firebirds print across the chest and serif numbers across the lower half. Noon out of the stretch, looks back at second. Breaking ball hit sharply back up the middle, and it's going to be no catch by the shortstop in Camarillo. It took a bounce right in front of him. So that'll be a single to the shortstop here. And infield singles coming alive here for Orleans, loading the bases with still 2 away.
And Coach Engler wants an explanation as to why that's not an out. He's going to march out and talk to the umpire. Usually not someone who will get into an argument, but definitely wants to hear the answer as to why that wasn't an out. And you talked about the Orleans jerseys. Funny thing about them is, why, a little trivia for you, which upcoming CCBL Hall of Famer purchased them for the team? He's in the class of 2023.
Class of 2023.
An Orleans Firebird that wanted to give back to the league that gave him so much, and he bought them these cutoff jerseys. I think they have 2 or 3 different styles.
Gosh, I have to think.
The starting pitcher, he's like probably a top 5 pitcher in the NL right now, statistically.
1-0. Lofted out towards left field, chasing back Humphrey in center. Moving to his left, he makes the catch for the final out of the first. So a huge chance for Orleans, nonetheless leaves the bases stranded. No score going into the second here from Eldridge Park. You listen to Harwich Mariners baseball on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. No score going into the top half of the second here from Eldridge Park in Orleans, Massachusetts. Both Harwich and Orleans 1-0 on the season. 4-3 win for Harwich last night. Due up the 4, 5, and 6 hitters in Kennedy Jones, Hunter Fitzgerald, and Seaver King here. Back on the mound for Orleans, Cam Leiter, the UCF transfer. Righty-righty battle here. Leiter winds and deals the first pitch. Fastball runs high for ball number 1. So, Devin, I'm thinking about the 2023 induction class here. Someone who has relation to Orleans here. Next pitch goes high on an elevated fastball. It's 2-0 here to Jones, cleanup hitter.
All right, you want the answer? You can't bear to take it, or do you want me to give you another hint?
I'll take another hint.
All right.
2-0. Line back into the screen. It's 2-1 to Jones.
I think pitches for the Cubs. I'll have to reconfirm that because he's been on a few blue teams. But Cubs.
Leiter is set the 2-1 here to Jones. Fastball misses high at the letters. It's 3-1 here. Tight strike zone here today at Eldridge Park. Not a cloud in the sky here. Shadows extended across the infield. There's the 3-1. Taken for a strike on a changeup. It's 3-2.
Confirmed starting pitcher for the Cubs.
Starting pitcher for the Cubs. Here's the payoff pitch. Roped over towards right field. Micheletti giving chase. He's at the warning track. He leaps. and it's down for a base hit. Jones will cruise into second. It just ricocheted in front of the wall. And a leadoff double here for Jones as Harwich has business to start off the second.
That's got to feel good for Jones. Had a pretty quiet day offensively yesterday. Couldn't get a lot going. Ended up 0 for 4, but did reach on an error. So to get that hit, especially to one of the deeper parts of the ballpark out there in right center, got to feel good to get him going. A true power threat. And the Mariners, they've had a lot of extra base hits. 3 yesterday and now already 1 today.
First hit on the afternoon here for Harwich after Orleans tagged on a pair of hits back in the first. Leiter deals the first pitch low to Hunter Fitzgerald, the 5-hole hitter, for ball number 1. Fitzgerald's the Old Dominion product, native of Margate, Florida. He went 1 for 4 last night with a double in his league debut on opening night. Leiter looking back at second, deals the pitch, cut on and missed. It's 1-1 here. On second, Jones, after a leadoff double, worked a payoff pitch to his benefit. No score here in the top of the second. Huge spot here for Harwich with its first runner on and in scoring position. Pitch goes low and inside. It's 2-1 here to Fitzgerald.
And the Firebirds, the only team that played yesterday who didn't allow an earned run. They allowed 1 unearned run, but the pitching was solid, trying to roll that into today, but the Mariners are threatening early.
The unearned run coming back to haunt the Mariners' opponent last night in Yarmouth Dennis. Pitch taken high on a fastball. It's 3-1. 3 runs early in that second inning for Harwich. 2-run double for Jackson Horning before a shallow bloop RBI single from Kenny Lavari, giving the Harwich Mariners that 3-0 lead. Late runs galore, meanwhile, for Yarmouth Dennis. Pitch goes outside. Ball 4, 5-pitch walk here. Jones stationed at second. Hunter Fitzgerald fills the vacant bag at first as Harwich has traffic, as Orleans did back in the first as well.
Mariners are in business now. You better believe it. 2 on and nobody away for Seaver King, who's going to make his debut here. Excited to see what he can bring to the table out of Wingate.
So Seaver King coming up. Set to face Cam Leiter, working out of the stretch here. Runners on first and second. Jones on the leadoff double. No score here in the top of the second. First pitch on the way to the Wingate product. It goes inside for ball 1 on a curveball that time. Double to right field for Jones. And a walk here for Fitzgerald, giving Harwich runners on first and second, no score. Harwich went out by out last night. Pitch on the way. Breaking ball lofted down the left side, and it's 1-1. Went out by out, Devin. Harwich was 2 for 8 in leadoff situations, was 0 for 8 with 2-out hitting last night, something that it looks to capitalize on here as it's certainly created a spark for itself in the leadoff spot.
Left 10 people on base as well, and that's something that they're going to have to really crack down on. They weren't able to get any offense going the second 2/3 of the game, I guess is the best way to say it.
1-1, a high chopper up into the middle infield. Second baseman Urso tries to fire onto first, and it won't be in time. So Seaver King reaches on an infield single. Harwich working with small angles here, moving into third Jones to second Fitzgerald as the bases are loaded here in the second.
I think they're actually going to put that as a fielder's choice as Fitzgerald was retired in the process. We'll see if Scannell is able to do anything. Runners on the corners, 1 away. A lot of ways you can get that guy in the extra 90 feet, and we'll see if the Mariners are going to be aggressive. Seaver King, a guy who had 13 stolen bases past season.
So King reaching on a fielder's choice. Scannell watches one low and inside for ball 1. Fielder's choice here for King as he's on first. On third, Jones, giving Harwich an opportunity to score the first run here. Here's the 1-0. Ball outside, and it's 2-0 here to Scannell.
Scannell walked and scored despite going 0 for 3 in the win yesterday. All those runs critical, as it proved to be. 4-3 win for the Mariners.
Leiter with the 2-0. Line over towards the right side. Diving Hyde. The second baseman Urso tries to recover. The flip on to first is not in time. 1 run comes across the score here in Kennedy Jones after moving over on a fielder's choice, and the Harwich Mariners have their first lead of the afternoon in their first road game on the season. It's 1-0.
And that's huge, getting ahead early. That's something we've talked about. So to see Harwich execute that time, really great to get in the driver's seat. They're undefeated when they score first.
Runners on first and second here with just one out. In the top of the second from Eldridge Park. Brings up Brian Arndt, making his season debut here on the afternoon. Arndt watches one go low. Nice back by Hunter, the catcher. Arndt's a rising junior at UNC Wilmington, facing Leiter here with runners on first and second, 1-0 lead for Harwich in the top of the second. Second-year member of the Mariners, one of the few returners here for Steve Englert this season. Leiter with the pitch. Lofted over the head of the second baseman Urso and into center field. Rounding third King, he's being waved home. He's going to score standing up, and the throw to third is not in time. Moving into second is Arndt on the throw, as Harwich Mariners have a 2-0 lead and an RBI base knock, and there's still none away here in the second. Rather one.
So yeah, an interesting sequence there. Kind of looking like Little League baseball for the Orleans Firebirds these last couple plays. You get one off the glove and then can't get the out at first, and then over here, just throwing it around, a run comes in, Scannell into third, although they almost had him. Good throw, would have had him at third. Harwich will take it. They lead by 2 now.
So that brings up the 9-hole hitter in Eric Arado for the first time on the afternoon, as Henry Hunter, the catcher, comes out to have a word with his battery mate in Cam Leiter. 2 runs coming across to score here, and a huge chance for Harwich to extend its lead at 2-0 here in the top of the second from Eldridge Park. Arado, the Northern Illinois product. Southpaw waits the first pitch, takes a bounce in the dirt for ball number 1. Second inning has been certainly fortuitous for Harwich over these past couple of days. We mentioned it earlier, last night getting 3 runs in the second, a 2-run double from Jackson Horning. Leiter with the 1-0, fastball roped down the left side, and it goes foul.
See if Harwich can keep that pedal to the metal. Still just 1 away here. And a chance to add some insurance against an Orleans team that's so good defensively up until this point that you want to jump on them while you can.
Pitch chopped over towards the left side. Quick play for Blake. Looks back at third, fires to first in time. There was only one play. Blake went across the mound, and Arado was retired on a 5-3 ground out to set up Jacob Humphrey as he comes up for the second time today. So Humphrey comes up with 2 outs, looking for redemption here after striking out, looking back in the first. Harwich going down 1-2-3. He's tacked on 2 runs here in the top of the second against Cam Leiter, making his season debut here for the Orleans Firebirds. Humphrey awaits the first pitch. Breaking ball misses low for ball 1. He went to a 1-2 count back in the first before he struck out. Has a huge spot here with Scannell on third and Arndt on second. Leiter behind the count, takes one outside. It's 2-0 for Humphrey here.
Also great for the Mariners, turn the lineup card over into the second inning. 2 innings, 2 at-bats for Humphrey. We'll see if he can keep the train going and add some run support.
Humphrey 0 for 5 last night as he ropes it into the glove of the second baseman Urso for the final out of the inning. An L4 for a loud final out here in the second, but Harwich is able to tack on the game's first 2 runs as it leaves 2 stranded. 2-0 lead for the Mariners going into the bottom half of the second here from Eldridge Park. You're listening to Harwich Mariners baseball on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. 2-0 lead for Harwich going into the bottom of the second here. Its first road game on the series. The season, I should say. Drew Furrow, Henry Hunter, J.D. Urso, 7-8-9 hitters due up here for Harwich against Tim Noon. First pitch from Noon. Bounces low in the dirt for ball number 1.
Furrow, a tremendous athlete. Actually was Tallahassee Football Player of the Year as a quarterback. Won a state championship his freshman season.
Furrow ropes one down the right side, and it goes foul. It's 1-1 here. 6'3", 190. Furrow stands, a Tallahassee native, two-time All-American shortstop with the Seminoles. 1-1. Change-up taken low, and it's 2-1 here. 2-0 lead for Harwich here in the bottom of the second. Furrow leading off here against the left-hander in Noon. He deals the 2-1. It's lined back up the middle. Bouncing ball for King at second. Lobs it over to first in time as there's one away here in the second.
Mariners starting to settle back in. We saw yesterday almost a carbon copy. A rocky first inning. Wasn't sure if the opponent was going to strike and then really start to settle down. Let's see if Tim Noon can get himself in a groove here.
Noon making his season debut here today. The Babson College product entering with 3 collegiate seasons as he looks for a 1-2-3 job here in the second. First pitch, fastball down the pipe for strike number 1 to Henry Hunter, the catcher. 6'2", 210, rising junior, native of Snellville, Georgia. Fastball taken high, and it's 0-2 here. One away here in the bottom, the second from Eldridge Park. Gorgeous night for baseball. The sun beginning to set here. 2-0 lead for the Mariners. 0-2.
Oh, yeah.
Taken just on the outer half. That was borderline. We mentioned it'd be a tight strike zone here to start the game.
That looked really good from our point of view. Looked like it just caught the outside corner, but unfortunately, it's small zone.
1-2. Fastball misses low. It's 2-2 here to Hunter. Up for the first time here today. Orleans bringing 6 to the plate. Pitch chopped up towards the middle infield and past the glove of King as it goes right up the middle into shallow center field for a base hit. Hunter reaches as a 1-out base runner as Orleans has its 3rd hit here at Eldridge Park this season.
Yeah, they are finding ways to get to Noon, who granted is going to have to get through this baptism by fire. D3 guy coming up and playing against some of the Division I baseball's best. But seems confident, and he knows he can pitch well, so I'm sure he'll settle in.
First pitch, smash back behind home plate for strike 1 here. Jack Penny, the infielder, starting here today, native of Wakefield, Massachusetts. As a freshman, hit .288 this year at Phillips Academy. Here's the pitch. Slider taken high for strike 1 here, for strike 2, I should say. On first, Henry Hunter, the 8-hole hitter, now the 9-hole hitter in Penny. Sitting at 6-0, 185, 2-0 lead, 1 out, 1 out. 2-strike pitch on the way. Fastball taken on the outer half, it's 1-2. Seeing some discipline early on here from Orleans, despite trailing 2-0. Orleans had the bases loaded back in the first, was unable to scratch across a run.
Urso attends University of Tampa. He's a Division II player, but a lot of good prospects out of there. Pete Alonso, Kyle Tucker, and Wade Boggs.
Urso smashes it high down the left field line, moving under it Jones as he steps in front of it, calls it off, and he makes the catch, fighting off the sun for out number 2 here in the second.
And fighting off the sun is much easier said than done when you think about where it's beating in from out over and just beyond right field. So for a guy playing left fielder on the left side of the diamond, it's really tough to fight it off with a glove. Nice job there from Kennedy Jones to record the out.
2 away, 1 out here in Henry Hunter. Harwich ahead of Orleans 2-0 here in the bottom of the second. First pitch from Noon goes outside for ball number 1 to Austin Over, in the leadoff hitter here today. Center fielder grounded out to second back in the first. Harwich scratching across 2 runs on 3 hits back in the second, still left 2 aboard. Lefty Noon deals, and it goes low on the 1-0 offering. It's 2-0 here. Austin Over, the USC product, alma mater of Reds assistant Jeff Pickler, the son of Yarmouth Dennis manager Scott Pickler, who just went to White House Field on opening night last night. Harwich Mariners winning that one. Breaking ball swung on and missed. That one had to be at least below 70 miles an hour. It's 2-1 here. Just dropped off the table that time.
Yeah, really nice looking pitch. Yanked the string right as it crossed the plate and fell away. Made the batter look foolish and over.
Over the number 2 outfielder from the state of California, the 2-1. Fastball just on the upper half. It's 2-2 here. 2 away, 1 on here for Orleans, getting its 3rd hit on the afternoon after tallying 2 back in the first off the starter in Tim Noon from Babson here for Harwich, making his season debut. Harwich leading 2-0 here in the bottom of the second from Eldridge Park. The southpaw Noon deals. Runner goes, misses outside, throw down to second. Looping throw is not in time. Stolen base here for Henry Hunter, the catcher able to get into scoring position with 2 away.
Nice throw from Brian Arndt there behind the plate. Wonder if there was a tag at all, because it looked like the runner might have been out. Must have missed the tag because King was a little slow in getting over to the bag to make the play, and I think just missed it there.
Now a vacant base here to fill for Orleans. The 3-2 bounces well in the dirt about 5 feet in front of home plate. And so now that base will be filled for Austin Over, and he reaches for the first time on the evening with a 2-out walk. And Orleans once again has runners on first and second here in the second. Eddie King, the left fielder, coming up for the second time here today after signaling to second back in the first. Tim Noon, the southpaw, out of the stretch, deals a breaking ball on the inner half for strike number 1. 2-0 lead for Harwich here in the bottom of the second from Orleans, Massachusetts. First road game of the year for Harwich. Home opener here for Orleans. Noon with the 0-1. Lofted and goes foul back. And it's going to be 0-2 here. Huge spot here for Orleans after leaving the bases loaded back in the first. Fly out to center field, getting Noon out of a jam here as he looks to escape this mini jam. On second, Hunter. On first, Over, and after the 2-out walk. Here's the 0-2. Misses low in the dirt, and it's 1-2. 2 on, 2 out here for Orleans, looking for its first runs on the season here at Eldridge Park. Devin, huge test here for Tim Noon, veteran of Babson College. We'll see what he comes up with here. 2-strike pitch on the way. Fastball roped through the left side, and it's going to be caught by a leaping Camarillo at short. That one looked to be trailing into the outfield. Instead, Camarillo with a surprise at the lip of the outfield grass as the shortstop makes an acrobatic play to close out the second. Orleans bringing up 5 to the plate and scoring no runs on 1 hit, no errors, and leaving 2 stranded. 2-0 lead for Harwich going into the top of the third here from Eldridge Park. You listen to Harwich Mariners Baseball on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. Two to nothing going into the top of the third here from Eldridge Park in Orleans, Massachusetts. Due up here for Harwich, Ali Camarillo, Kalen Culpepper, Kennedy Jones, the 2, 3, and 4 hitters. Camarillo just making a leaping grab to close out the second frame. Wyatt Kopelman, Devin Dobeck here with you on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. Camarillo 0 for 1 here today. He flew out to center back in the first. Cam Leiter, the first pitch, fastball misses high at the helmet for ball number 1.
Camarillo did rip a double to start off the game in the second inning, or in the first inning of the game yesterday.
1-0, loop down the left field line. And back at the track is going to be King Jr. to make the catch right in front of the wall. He was moving to his right slightly. And there's one away on 2 pitches here in the third.
And Camarillo just a bit under that one, similar to what he did back in the first inning when he flew out to center. If he's able to barrel that up, a much more level swing, that thing's leaving the yard. He's got some serious power. And
the wind's not even blown out to the outfield here today, Devin. You wonder had he gotten a little bit of help from Mother Nature as well. Nonetheless, one away here for Kalen Culpepper, the third baseman. He grounded out to first back in the first as he watches one on the lower half for strike number 1 on a changeup. Culpepper 0 for 2 yesterday with a strikeout. 4-3 win for Harwich. A 5-out save from the southpaw Jacob Gomez of Old Dominion. The 0-1 from Leiter. Takes a bounce in the dirt and bounces back to the backstop. It's 1-1. Very thrilling ending yesterday. A very sellable win if you're Harwich, being able to win in close games after having that 3-0 lead going into late innings as well. And we'll see what Culpepper is able to come up with here. 1-1 on the way from Leiter. Lofted over towards the left side at the third base bag. Blake steps on, throws to first, and it's in time. 2 up and 2 down here in the third to set up Kennedy Jones in the cleanup spot.
Kennedy Jones ripped a double to start off the second inning. Came around to score as well. Let's see if he can continue that. It was a shot out to right center. So maybe he can build that momentum, string a few together, and really get his bat hot, because he's someone that Harwich is going to have to rely on in the middle of the order this season.
First pitch to Jones is looped down the right field line and slicing foul, as it's going to take a bounce just in foul territory. Jones a little bit late on that one. He reached on a double to right field back in the second. Came across to score on a single to second. Harwich having a 2-0 lead here in the top of the third from Eldridge Park. 2 away here for Jones, the UNC Greensboro product at 6'1", 212. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed on a breaking ball low. It's 0-2.
On deck, you have Kennedy Jones, should you get there. Another guy who's, you have Hunter Fitzgerald. Another guy who's got some serious power and will be able to string together a late rally.
2 away here for Jones as he watches one low and outside for ball number 1. It's 1-2 here to Jones, the cleanup hitter, after going 0 for 4 last night, starting off strong here in Orleans tonight. Leiter, slow pump and deal. The pitch lined over towards the shortstop in furrow. Steps, fires onto the bag at first, and it's in time. A 1-2-3 job here for Cam Leiter, the UCF transfer. A fly out and 2 groundouts. Giving a quick job here. Harwich still leading 2-0 going into the bottom half of the third from Eldridge Park here in Orleans. You're listening to Harwich Mariners baseball on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. Two-0 lead here for Harwich going into the home half of the third here from Eldridge Park, as Tim Noon, the Babson College product, is back on the mound here. Quick stoppage of play here as Hyde is set here. Stepping up for the second time on the day, reached on a 1-out walk back in the first. Wind blowing out to right field now. First pitch from Noon is sliced back into the netting for strike number 1.
Coming out of high school, Hyde was the #1 prospect according to Perfect Game. Number 1 first base prospect, excuse me.
0-1, chopper over towards the left side. Moving to his left, Gamarillo fires onto first. High throw is in time. And there's one away here. And Devin, you consider what Orleans has tried to muster in leadoff spots today, has just not gotten enough going. Now 0 for 3 with 3 ground outs, 2 of them to second and 1 over to the shortstop this time.
Yeah, everything they've put together thus far has just been too little too late. Got to find a way to get ahead early with these leadoff men, but unfortunately, no matter how you cut it, it's been difficult.
First pitch to Drew Metzdorf. The righty is taken low for a strike. Change up that time from Noon. 2-0 lead here in the bottom of the third for Harwich. Next pitch inside at the knees for ball number 1. Here it's 1-1 here to Metzdorf. 2-0 lead for Harwich after scoring 2 runs on 3 hits back in the second. 1-1 is tapped back behind home plate, removing the mask aren't, and it's going to be 1-2. That one fouls over towards the right side.
Metzdorf goes to UMass Boston, so not too far from here once again. Hit .344 for the Beacons last season, had a .444 OBP.
Orleans returner as well. The 1-2 fastball misses high. 2-2 here. Orleans returner this summer. Played 8 games last season, went 13 of 31, 7 RBIs. The 2-2 swung on and missed. A slider had Metzdorf out in front, and there are 2 up and 2 away here in the third for Tim Noon.
I believe that's his first strikeout of the ball game too, so must feel good to get your confidence going. So nice to see Noon settling in. Let's see if he can get his first 1, 2, 3.
Eddie Micheletti, the right fielder, stepping in for the second time here today. Takes one high at the letters for strike number 1. Micheletti working a 1-0 count on a single to shortstop back in the first. Harwich able to get out bases loaded jam. Pitch, high tapper over towards the right side, charging on King, and he fires and scoops onto first rather for a 1-2-3 job. Devin, you predicted it right. 1-2-3 job, a pair of groundouts, and the first strikeout here for Tim Noon, the Babson College product, shining here in the third in his season debut. Not across here for Orleans in the bottom of the third. A 2-0 lead for Harwich going into the middle innings. This is Harwich Mariners baseball on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. Moving into the fourth inning here from Eldridge Park in Orleans, Massachusetts. 2-0 lead here for Harwich. Fitzgerald, King, and Scannell due up. And moving over for the middle innings on play-by-play, my broadcast partner, Devin Domek of UMass.
Thank you, Wyatt. Just about to get set going after the Mariners went down 1-2-3 in the third inning. Fitzgerald on the day ended up walking and then out on a fielder's choice. That was hit by Seaver King. First pitch to him is fouled back for strike 1. Back out there is Leiter. We'll see if he's able to bring it. So far he's been pretty good. Had a rocky second inning, but the first and third innings were 1-2-3s. So If there's a pattern at all, then the Mariners should get some run support here. The pitch. This is just outside. That pushes the count to 1-1. Beautiful night here at Eldridge Park. Fans set up on that signature hill that the Firebirds have. I'm not sure we ever answered the trivia question, but the answer was Marcus Stroman, former Firebird, actually purchased all these jerseys for the team, and he's going to be a CCBL Hall of Famer. So that pitch misses upstairs, and it'll be 3-1.
See, I was just thinking about Hall of Famers in the MLB ballot this year, Devin. You actually had me crossed up a bit.
There you go.
I was like a catcher.
As that one misses low in the dirt, and Fitzgerald leads off with a walk. Mariners are in business. Second time the leadoff man's been aboard tonight.
I mean, I was thinking about Fred McGriff. I was thinking of a couple of other guys who were eligible for the ballot this year, and I just completely missed what you had said about the Cape Cod League.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Marcus Stroman, I think I might have seen his name pop up somewhere regarding that. Quite the story.
Yeah, he's been really good to this community, and nice to see him give back. Seaver King digs in. He reached on a fielder's choice and would come around to score. First pitch will hit him. And so he's headed down to first base with a free ticket. Thanks to Cam Leiter, he's already in a jam. First and second, nobody away for the power hitter and Matt Scannell.
A lot of Harwich batters, victim of the hits batsman pattern, and you take it if you can get it. You know, Harwich needed some particular runners in scoring position yesterday. That moves Fitzgerald into second. You want to be able to get some insurance runs here, not scoring since the second. Third inning flew by.
Scannell will dig in. First baseman, he singled back in the second. First hit of his CCBL season. First pitch to him misses low and away to make it 1-0.
I was thinking of Corbin Burns as well. I know he played in Orleans. Did you know that?
Yep, a couple good ones. I think Burns did. There was a Brewers pitcher was for the Mariners as well. Maybe Woodruff?
I was thinking Woodruff as well.
Yeah, so definitely a lot of talent, as I'm sure all of you know. Count is 2-0 now to Scannell. On second is Fitzgerald. Kings on first. 2-0 our score here in the top of the fourth. Leiter kicks and delivers. Misses low, and it'll be 3-0, so really running into some control problems. And not what you want to do with Brian Arnn on deck. He's already got an RBI here tonight. Beautiful single up the middle. And he's licking his chops at the opportunity to have the bases loaded, just to pitch away from that. Here's the pitch. That one hits the outside corner, so the at-bat stays alive, 3-1.
I've liked what I've seen from Leiter thus far going to the changeup low. We'll see what he goes here with a 3-ball pitch.
That one just misses the outside corner, so it'll be 3 runners earning trips aboard without putting the ball in play. It was a walk, a hit batsman, and now another walk. They are all loaded up for the UNC Wilmington Seahawk.
And that's huge for Scannell, really translating what he did this year at Princeton, as looks like Henry Hunter's going to have a word here with his battery mate in Leiter. But for Harwich to be able to work a few walks here dating into the fourth inning, got a walk back in the second, but now we're earning 2 walks here in the fourth to juice the bases. Huge for Scannell. He had 39 walks despite 40 strikeouts at Princeton this season, so certainly not unaccustomed to showing a good amount of plate discipline on the biggest stages.
Absolutely, indeed. He's on base for the second time tonight. Now Brian Arnn trying to really make it hurt. Mariners are threatening. They're all loaded up. They already have a 2-run lead, and there is nobody gone down here in the fourth. The pitch. On the outside corner for a strike. Really nice frame that time by Henry Hunter. Makes me want to say Hunter Henry. Of course, the Patriots tight end, but nope, Henry Hunter behind the plate. Here comes the 0-1. Breaking ball in the dirt. Everybody stays put, and it's 1-1. Brian Arnn actually was part of SportsCenter Top 10's #1 play a little while ago on May 7th. He had a diving effort to tag a runner out after a liner up the middle deflected off the pitcher's glove in a wacky way. Arnn picked it up and dove at the runner. They would go on to win as ball over to short. is going to record a double play. 4-6-3, the Firebirds sacrifice a run for a pair of outs. Brian Arndt on the receiving end, and that is not what they wanted to do if you're Harwich, but at least you get one. So they now lead 3-0 with a runner on third in Seaver King.
Single to center fields for his first hit on the season. Back in the second, your Arndt just worried about putting the ball in play. That time Harwich getting at least one. But I'll bet you have 2 outs here. And Harwich yesterday 0 for 8 in 2-out inning situations.
So digging in now is Eric Arado. Grounded out to third back in the second inning. That one blocked in the dirt by Hunter. And so the count will be 1-0. King is 90 feet from scoring. Mariners already leading this one 3-0. Arado in right field for the Mariners tonight, making his debut for the team. The pitch misses just low and make it 2-0. Really tight zone, as we've said numerous times. Umpire wanting the hitters to hit. Arado from Sussex, Wisconsin. And the lefty takes a strike in at the knees to make it a 2-1 count.
From Leiter, Devin, you consider that Harwich struck out 7 times for the 5th last night, only falling a victim to 1 here today.
The pitch. That one bounced in the dirt, gets away from Hunter, but he's able to recollect it, and the runner stays put in King down at third. It's now a 3-ball count. We'll see what Harwich is able to do here, trying to add some insurance to help out the starter in Noon, who's been in the dugout a decent amount of time. He's already gone 3 full. Can't imagine his leash is much longer. The pitch. This one's going to be popped foul up over the street. And so count stays alive. It's now full at 3-2.
No full counts yet this inning, but 3-ball pitches now dealt on 3 different occurrences here for Leiter. Big test here.
Payoff pitch coming. That one just misses above the letters. And so it'll be another walk issue. That's the 4th free pass of the inning that Leiter has issued. Of course, 1 a hit batsman, 3 base on balls. And that brings up the top of the order for the 3rd time in 4 innings. Jacob Humphrey will step back in with runners on the corners.
Harwich getting its run-scoring start in the 2nd last night. Did the same here today, getting some ground ball contact to work in its favor. We'll see what can happen here with 2 away.
Humphrey lined out to 2nd in his most recent at-bat, also struck out in the 1st. That was a scorcher over to 2nd, though, as he does it right one more time. On one bounce over to Urso, he fires on to Hyde, and the inning will end. But the Mariners add 1 more thanks to 4 free passes given in the inning. They lead it now by a score of 3-0. We'll be right back on the other side of the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. Welcome back to Eldridge Park. Devin Dobek, Wyatt Kopelman along with you as Mariners add another to their lead. It's now 3-0. Scored 3 runs in the second inning last night, and now they have 3 through 4 innings here tonight. Andy Blake set to get things going here for the Firebirds. They've been retired the last 4 by Noon, who will be back out there for his 4th inning of work. Noon just the 1 strikeout, but he has been efficient. Just his 2nd time going through the order. As this one's going to be lifted out to deep center field, giving chases Humphrey, going back towards the track, hauls it in. Jacob Humphrey, the UMass Lowell Riverhawk, able to pull that one in, and it'll be a very loud first out for the Orleans Firebirds.
Baseball game of extension, Devin, and Humphrey couldn't have timed that any better. Now 5 straight retired here for Tim Noon. The Babson College product starting to cruise here in this one, despite allowing 7 to go to the plate. Rather, 6 on the plate to go in the first.
He was able to haul that in while battling the sun, pointed right at him, charging towards the gap in right center. Be a 1-0 count now to start Faroe, Florida State product. He's only 19. As this one's going to be popped up and out of play to even up the count at 1-1. Faroe, a native of Tallahassee, Florida. And for him, this must feel like winter. You see him in the long sleeves, probably not familiar with this kind of cool summertime. Usually hot and muggy down in Florida. 2-1. It's going to be chopped foul, even up the, or excuse me, it's going to be 1-2.
Dipping into the low 50s past couple of weeks. Almost doesn't resemble summer temperatures despite the calendar changing.
1-2 pitch. Misses up and away. Tried to give his all on that and just gave it away upstairs. But yeah, it's really nice to go to sleep with that kind of weather. Nice and cool. As this one's going to be rolled over to the shortstop. Charging in is Camarillo. Fires and got him. Really nice play by Ali Camarillo. Able to throw it low, not waste any time on the transfer, and a much-needed second out for Noon, who's been strong. Now 6 straight retired.
Huge play that time from Camarillo, rising junior at CSU Northridge. He's been highly versatile in these couple games here for Harwich. Had an excellent play to close out that second inning as well.
As this one's going to be grounded foul over towards first base and count 0-1. Henry Hunter will come in. Catches for Alabama Birmingham. Native of Snellville, Georgia, just 40 minutes outside of Atlanta. Count is 1-1, and the pitch is going to be once again chopped over towards first, but foul. Scannell will pick it up, and now Noon 1 strike away from sending down his 7th straight batter. He's been fantastic early for Harwich.
It's a huge hitter to get out here, and Hunter already 1 for 1 on the day of that single to center back in the second, and hit just under 300 this year.
This is going to be chopped over to Scannell. Scannell on the short hop picks it and takes it himself. Score that one 3-U, and the side is retired. 7 straight set down by Tim Noon. The Mariners are rolling. Into the 5th frame we go. We'll see you on the other side of the break. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to the Harwich Mariners YouTube Network. Welcome back, Devin Dobeck, Wyatt Kopelman along with you. Mariners leading the Firebirds 3-0 into the 5th inning we go. Pitching change for the Firebirds. It'll be Cam Jones out of Georgia State taking the hill. Also hits for Georgia State, but going to be doing some pitching. He has a 4.02 career ERA in college. 7-14 record, 47 strikeouts, just 16 walks across 127 and 2/3 innings. Also has a 1.23 whip. Stepping in for the Mariners, Ali Camarillo. He's been all over the diamond. Fantastic. 0 for 2 in the batter's box, though. He flew out to both left and center, but he has been a magnet over at shortstop, really picking off exactly where Kalen Culpepper left off yesterday with tremendous defense over on the left side of the infield. As he's going to just hit this one off the end of the bat over the second baseman Urso. He fires on to first for out number 1. Scored that one 4-3.
Tim Noon really settling in, retiring 7 straight. Confidence-inducing for your season debut, especially in a summer collegiate league where you're just getting to know guys really in your bullpen, and you're getting to know your pitching coach as well as longtime head coach in Steve Englert. Harwich needs hit here, Devin. Hasn't gotten a hit since the second, a 3-hit frame with a 2-run there.
Kalen Culpepper's grounded out to third and grounded out to first. 0 for 2 on the day, watches strike 1 go by. But the line is now closed on Cam Leiter. He threw 4 complete. Allowed just the 2 hits, as well as 3 earned runs. Walked a handful of men, though. I believe 4 will be scored, 5 if you count the hit batsman. And only had 1 strikeout, so a rocky performance, but his team's still in it. They only trail by 3. Here comes the pitch to Culpepper. This is outside, and it'll be a 2-1 count now to the Kansas State Wildcat. Culpepper, college teammates with Nick Goodwin, who was an all-star for the Mariners last year, led the team in homers. He was fantastic and pops this one in foul territory off to the right, giving chase his hide, and Micheletti, I believe, able to bring it in. Yes, reaching over a couple fans who were a little scared for a second there, but nonetheless, it's an interesting out number 2.
Jacob Humphrey had an extending catch in center field as he really moved from shallow gap in left center to move over to right. That time, Micheletti playing the line really well, and that one we scored as an F09 for those keeping score at home.
Kennedy Jones now on the day, 1 for 2. Doubled and scored back in the second. He also grounded out to short. Here's the pitch. Misses low, and it'll be 1-0. Cam Jones in the transfer portal currently, looking for a new home. He's going to be out of Georgia State, so it'll be interesting to see where he signs. But here comes the 1-0 pitch from him, and Jones fouls it back up and out of play, so it'll be 1-1. This one's going to be pop foul off to the right. So the count will be 1-2 now. Kennedy Jones, UNC Greensboro product. Showed off his power on that double. Trying to add to it now. Sits in that cleanup spot for the Mariners. Hunter Fitzgerald on deck. The pitch. Misses just outside. That'll even things up at 2.
Heart of the order is coming up here, starting with Kennedy Jones, Fitzgerald on deck, King in the hole. You have to imagine the pressure starts to mount here. The Harwich Mariners had a hit since the second.
The pitch. Misses outside to make it full. Kennedy Jones trying to get something going late here as we're just about to close the book on the first half of the ball game. Jones comes set and delivers. On the inside corner, Jones is rung up. Beautiful pitch from Cam Jones, able to catch the corner, and the side is retired in order. Nice start for Cam Jones. He's going to need some help from his offense. Find out on the other side. You're listening to the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. Welcome back into Eldridge Park. Mariners leading this one 3-0, and yeah, no, the nine-hitter, has not been J.D. Urso this entire time. It's been Jack Penny. There was a last-minute lineup change that we were not made aware of, as now first pitch is going to miss for a ball. Johnny Olmstead now will climb in as Jack Penny takes a seat. So kind of an interesting series of substitutions we've been seeing. Luckily, Olmstead's still in the box. We'll see what he's able to do. Olmstead attends USC. Goes by J.O. as the pitch that time misses. And so it'll be 2-1. Out on the mound for the Mariners is Xavier Martinez out of Cal State Northridge, teammate with Ali Camarillo. Count even up at 2. This past season, he went 4-1 with a 2.29 ERA across his 35 1/3. He had 45 strikeouts to just 17 walks. He was fantastic. We'll see what he can do here in his CCBL debut. As check swing, yes he did, says the home plate umpire. And so it'll be a backwards K to get things going here. Close the line on Tim Noon. He went 4 complete, allowed 3 hits, no runs, walked a pair, and struck out 1. So Olmstead, the first victim here in inning number 5. Austin Overn's turn. He's 0 for 1, grounded out to second, and also has walked. As Martinez comes set and delivers. This one hard grounded over to first base, picked up by Scannell. He'll take it himself once again. Really nice defensive play by Scannell. And so that will be out number 2 just like that. The Mariners are rolling. Martinez seems really locked in here on his debut.
He had 45 strikeouts, a huge sense of elevation in his development at Cal State Northridge this past season, pitching in just over 35 innings. Going to Matt Scannell, though, Devin. 2 of the last 3 outs reliant on him. He's been facing a lot of pressure over that first base bag.
First pitch now to Eddie King Jr. Misses up high for a ball. Eddie King Jr., a Louisville Cardinal, was hurt his freshman year of college, but his sophomore year hit .274 in the 50 games he played. He skies this one out into shallow right field, and it will be hauled in by Eric Arado, who retires aside. In order they go for Xavier Martinez. We head now to the 6th frame. 3-0 Mariners on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. Hunter Fitzgerald set to lead things off here for the Mariners. It'll be 5-6-7 for the M's. Fitzgerald has walked twice in the ballgame, came around to score once. See what he's able to do here. Old Dominion Monarch climbs into the left-handed batter's box, and so here we go. Cam Jones back out there, had a very clean 5th inning of work. Set the Mariners down 1-2-3. First pitch now. checked his swing, and it'll be a ball. 1-0. Fitzgerald, a very patient hitter. He's done a great job of finding himself on base more ways than swinging the bat. 2-0 count now. He's way ahead, can look for his pitch. But Fitzgerald, this past season in college, only had 4 walks, which is crazy to think about, as he's got 2 here tonight. Did have a 4-walk game. Or no, excuse me, he walked, I read that wrong, he walked 32 times. I read the stolen bases. Forgive me for that. So, yes, very patient. He had a 4-walk game back on May 14th against James Madison. And the pitch misses just outside, and that will be the 3rd walk now for Hunter Fitzgerald. He's been fantastic, his 3rd time on base. And still no one away for Seaver King.
Just might be the invaluable characteristic that Harwich needs with that kind of plate discipline in Fitzgerald. Coming out of Old Dominion, we'll see how he continues to progress with his hitting, but 3 walks already all means it's a great selling point in this lineup to stay in the middle 3rd.
So Seaver King digs in. He's currently 0 for 1, grounded into a fielder's choice. Would come around to score. Also has been hit by a pitch. Seaver, a Wingate student. First year here in Harwich. He was 2023 D2 CCA All-American first team. So definitely was able to rip it up in D2. Now seeing what he can do against these D1 guys. He grounds this over to 3rd. A weird hop, and it flies over John Olmstead into left field. Score that one a hit for Seaver King. But yeah, right off the lip of the grass, just jumped up in the air and over a leaping Olmstead. So the Mariners catch a break there. That's their first hit in quite some time, dating back to the 2nd inning. Now runners on 1st and 2nd for Scannell.
High bouncing single over at the hot corner. Huge opportunity here for Harwich. Has left 4 on to this point, Devin. It'd be a shame if had to leave 2 more on here.
7, 8, 9 set to go here with 2 on and nobody away. Scannell watches a pitch catch to the outside corner from Jones. He's heading the count 0-1. Brian Arndt on deck. He's singled and grounded into a double play. Does have a pair of RBI though. As the pitch this time right down the middle, and it'll be 0-2. Scannell, a Princeton Tiger. Of course, didn't have a freshman season with the Ivy League not participating, but trying to make up for it here in this summer. Here comes the 0-2. This is going to be grounded right back to the pitcher. Jones goes to 2nd for 1, on to 1st in time. Score that a 1-6-3 double play. And the Mariners, just when they seem to get some pressure amounting, they've grounded into double plays. So great job by Jones, able to snag that out of the air. Probably wouldn't have been able to get Scannell if he didn't pick that. Not hit hard enough to get both of them if it made it all the way to the shortstop. So 2 away and a runner on 3rd. Brian Arndt, who's been an RBI machine tonight, trying to knock in yet another one. He fouls this one off, but possibly playable for the first baseman Hyde, but it escapes over the fence. And so that will be life for Brian Arndt. He's down in the count 0-1 though. Fitzgerald's on 3rd after his 3rd walk of the ball game. Brian Arndt up. Brian Arndt, a great defensive catcher, has struggles offensively. He hit sub 200 for the Mariners throughout the majority of the season last year, but then was able to draw in this influx of walks. His OBP was actually top 5 on the team when all was said and done. So a guy who just does his role and takes pride in getting on base in ways other than the bat all the time. After that foul, he has now got 2 strikes on him. Cam Jones comes set. The pitch misses way outside, and it'll be 1-2 now.
Just might be the batter the Harwich Mariners need up right now. Runner on with 2 outs here, just 90 feet away. You need run production quickly. Brian Hart with a combined 33 RBIs through 2 seasons at UNC Wilmington.
Eric Arado on deck. As pitch, Arndt lifts it into left field. Over is Eddie King Jr. to his left, and he hauls it in for out number 3. So the Mariners threatened by getting the first 2 runners on, but a double play does not help, and they strand a runner on third 90 feet away. Still 3-0. We head to the home half of the 6th on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. Welcome back. Xavier Martinez back out there to face 3, 4, 5 in the Firebirds order. He set down the first 3 men he faced, but these next 3 going to be a tough task. We'll see if he's up for it. First pitch now to Hyde. Misses for a ball. Hyde has walked and grounded out to second. Firebirds have had trouble cashing in on any runs. That one misses inside to make it 2-0. 3 hits for the Mariners, 2 hits for the Firebirds. As Jake Hyde stands in the left side and lifts this one out to deep right field, but hooking foul. Definitely had the distance to leave the yard, but just a little bit early on it, trying to get his team all of it back in one swing, but that's unfortunately not possible. And so he will have to dig back in behind in the count 2-1.
Harwich pitching had 8 strikeouts in the first 6 innings on 6 left-handed batters yesterday, Devin. A little bit of a sense of deja vu in terms of the mission to get the southpaw gone.
As that one misses down at the feet, and he's now ahead 3-1 in the count.
Righty-lefty battle could be very compelling here to see how this perhaps changes the course of everything if the Firebirds are finding a sense of continuity here.
As that one misses for a ball, and so Martinez walks the first man here in the 6th. Not exactly how he wanted to start. After retiring the first 3, got a strikeout as well. Not a lot of punch-outs in a game yesterday where the Mariners struck out double-digit times. They've been very disciplined at the plate. I believe only a small handful, 3 or so. We'll take a look here to confirm. No, just 2 strikeouts, 1 by each pitcher, as that one misses 1-0. Drew Metzdorf steps into the right-handed side. He's popped out to second and struck out. That was at the hands of Tim Noon. Martinez will try a pickoff attempt, and back in safely is Hyde. Metzdorf Set and the pitch. Just below the knees. Martinez thought he had it, but unfortunately wouldn't go.
For Martinez, it's been all about efficiency for him at CSU Northridge. Had the second most relief appearances. A very strong strikeout to walk ratio.
Pitch is going to be grounded over to the shortstop. Camarillo flips to King for one. On to first. Not in time. So it'll be a fielder's choice. Decent looking turn by Camarillo and King, but the ball just not hit hard enough. And so there will be just one away.
Bit of a slow-moving ground ball for Camarillo. Still charged on well enough. And was in time at second. That's what you at least want to get here with Orleans due for a hit here. He's got to get one since the second. Camarillo at least getting one at second there.
Brings up Micheletti Jr. On the day, he's reached on an error and also grounded out to second. See what he can do here with the runner in Metzdorf on. Firebirds running out of time for some offensive production. Just 11 outs to work with. The pitch. That one catches a lot of the plate, and it'll be a ball and a strike now. Micheletti on the season, hitting .500, granted still early on. See if he can settle in. That one just below the zone, and it'll be 2-1. George Washington Colonial is Micheletti. A little Atlantic 10 with my UMass Minutemen. As that one, I believe he did go around, so they're saying, so it'll be a 2-2 count.
He has not fallen victim to strikeouts many times in his collegiate career. He only had 19 strikeouts at George Mason last season.
The pitch. That's going to be lifted out to deep right field. Going back at the wall. It is gone. Just like that, it's a one-run game as Micheletti Jr. gets behind a hanging off-speed pitch and takes it all the way out. 3-14 to right field, and it'll be a 3-2 ball game now. That is the first home run we've seen in the first against the Mariners this season. A shot right over the low fence in right. And with one away, the Firebirds trying to add some more.
Hooking slider just on the upper half there for Micheletti. Not too far inside for a strong taste. Took it the other way.
And if you're Harwich, so disappointing you weren't able to turn that double play. The ball just not hit hard enough because that would have saved another run after the home run was hit. Andy Blake up now. He's flied out to center twice. Had one taken away by Jacob Humphrey, though. Extra base hit, that is. Big swing that time, and so now there will be a strike on him. No balls, 2 strikes as Martinez comes set. The pitch. Breaking ball snaps really violently and goes just off the plate, so it'll be 1-2. Tough one to lay off if you're a hitter, a pitcher's pitch. But Blake staying strong as Martinez comes set once again. The pitch. This is just outside once again. He's really bringing it. You can tell taking his frustration out within each and every pitch, but got to start hitting his spots. 2-2. In there for strike 3. Tough call for the ever so tall Andy Blake, but he is rung up on a borderline pitch. Martinez will take it. That's his second strikeout tonight. Both of them a backwards K.
Moving into the late innings, you consider how this game is unfolded. 3 hits apiece now for Harwich and Orleans. Eddie Micheletti maybe just giving Harwich his most valuable hit of the season, depending on how Harwich pitching stands strong.
Be a 1-0 count on a breaking ball that just didn't have enough to be in the zone. Low and away. As now coming set once again will be Martinez. He kicks, delivers, and it's fouled back towards the press box here at Eldridge Park, and so it'll be a 1-1 count. On deck is Drew Furrow. Big swing and a miss that time from Blake. And so he's behind 1-2. Martinez trying to end this inning, one in which he's already surrendered 2 runs. Mariners trying to hold on here for an in-division win. That one just misses the outside corner a little low. Nice call by the umpire. That one a little lower than his punch-out pitch in the last at-bat. You'll take it, though. 1-2. Breaking ball in there. Got him looking. Beautiful pitch from Xavier Martinez. And the Mariners now go back to work on offense. Just a one-run game now, thanks to a two-run shot by Eddie Micheletti Jr. We'll be back for the final third of the ball game. You're listening to the Harwich Mariners YouTube Network. Welcome back to the final third. Pitching change for the Orleans Firebirds. Cam Jones' night will be over. He goes 2 innings, allows just the 1 hit, no runs, walks 1 and strikes out 1. The new wing is Dylan Ryan, and for play-by-play duties as well as the introduction for the new wing, my broadcast partner, Wyatt Kopelman. Wyatt.
Thank you, Devin. Up for Harwich here, Eric Arado as he takes one on the outer half on a bunt attempt for strike number 1 here. Dylan Ryan, second reliever out of the bullpen here for Orleans, right-hander at 6'1", 190, the senior of Sandwich, Massachusetts, right here on Cape Cod. He's set with the 0-1 pitch, and it's taken high for strike number 2 here. Arado at the plate, 0 for 1 here today, grounded out to third back in the second, and earned a walk back in the fourth. 2-run game here for Harwich. Pitch taken high and inside, it's going to hit Arado on the elbow. It almost didn't look like it deflected off of there, but nonetheless, he moves down to first as a leadoff base runner here in the 7th.
Yeah, all these Mariners get hit over and over. They've probably going to lead the league when all's said and done and being hit by pitches. Luckily, on the padding there of the arm, so you'll take it if you're Arado. It's a free base. He's now walked and been hit by a pitch.
First pitch on the way inside for Jacob Humphrey for ball number 1. Runner on first, Arado, as leadoff hits batsman here, and that forces Ryan to work out of the stretch here. As we're underway here in the top of the 7th, Harwich leading 3-2. Here's the pitch. Lofted down the right side, moving over Micheletti from right, and he's going to leave it over for Blake as he does not make the catch in foul territory. That was a huge effort play that time from Blake. And nonetheless, Humphrey will stay alive here in his 4th plate appearance on the day. 0 for 3 thus far, Devin. Could have been almost a disastrous end to that one.
Yeah, so they did retire Humphrey. They were able to make the catch. I'm not sure exactly how the runner advanced down to second, though. That's the one thing I'm confused about, is if Arado... Yeah, that was interesting for sure. But Humphrey going to be retired on the foul out because they were actually able to make the catch. You heard the fans go crazy. I agree, Wyatt, though. I didn't see it. Of course, the sun right in our face. But interesting for sure. One away, though.
Ali Camarillo coming up here, working with Arado on second. First pitch he sees goes high on a fastball for ball number 1.
Ryan featuring that three-quarter sidearm delivery. Brings it down by his waist for the release point.
At UMass Boston, as Devin mentioned, pitched in nearly 51 innings this season with 28 earned runs. Here's the pitch. Fastball roped down the right side, and it leaves the ballpark.
After Camarillo, it'll be Culpepper looking to add some runs for the Mariners.
1 on, 1 out here. 1-1 count here to Camarillo. 0 for 3 today with a pair of flyouts and a ground out to second as well. Ryan wearing 23, standing from the first base side of the rubber. The right-hander winds and deals the 1-1. Fastball called to the letters for a strike. It's 1-2 as Camarillo will have to protect here.
Not sure about that one. Looked to be a little bit above, but it's tough with that sidearm delivery. You're able to get a rise out of the baseball, and Ryan did just that.
3-2 lead for Harwich here in the top of the 7th. 1 on, 1 out here. Runner in scoring position against Dylan Ryan, the latest reliever. Here's the pitch. Lofted it over towards the right side, chasing after it Hyde, and he's going to let it bounce off the light tower. That'll stay at 1-2 here to Camarillo.
Yeah, similar to the same spot that the out was just recorded. And I take it that there was probably an out by reaching over into the crowd, and that's where the cheer came from. So
it was Andy Blake, the third baseman, starting the game, moved over to second, was able to make the foul-out grab. Ball and 2 strikes here. Runner in scoring position, Eric Arado, reached as a hits batsman to start off the 7th here. Harwich ahead 3-2. 6 combined hits between the two. 2-run homer back in the 6th from Eddie Micheletti, the right fielder for Orleans, pulling the Firebirds to within 1. Could be a similar situation from last night after a 5-out save, rather a 7-out save from Jacob Gomez. Ryan looks back at second again. Slider misses outside. It's 2-2 here. Command will be key here for Dylan Ryan, someone who has already gotten a considerable amount of summer collegiate baseball experience. Is making his debut here tonight in the Cape Cod Baseball League. Standing at 6'1", 190. There's the 2-2. Fastball misses high. I was at the letters as well. Tight strike zone. You mentioned earlier the umpire crew wanting these lineups to hit here today.
You'll take it, though, if you're Harwich. That one just missed the zone, though.
Camarillo 1 for 5 last night with a double. 3 strikeouts. He's yet to do so here today as he protects here. Payoff pitch on the way. Line back up the middle, past the mound, over towards the left side. Furrow tries to throw on a first, and it's not in time. He gets away from the first baseman, Hyde. Coming across to score, Arado, and he will score standing up. Camarillo moving into second on the error, and just like that, Harwich has a 2-run lead again here in this ballgame at 4-2.
Yeah, I'm not sure what Furrow was thinking over there. The ball deflected off the pitcher. He had no play, nor did he have his feet set to even make the throw, as if even a strike wouldn't have beat the batter in time over at first. So I'm a little confused as to why he would even take the chance. And it's a free 90 feet home for Harwich, and they get Camarillo down to second. Should be scored a hit and then an error on the throw that advanced him to second.
So a single to short and an E6. Moving another runner into scoring position here for Harwich. The first pitch on the way to Kalen Culpepper. Slider missing high and inside for ball number 1. Culpepper 0 for 3 here today.
Nice response by the Mariners to get some offense right after the Firebirds were gaining some momentum with the home run by Micheletti Jr. Nice to get back in the score column.
4th hit for Harwich. 1-0 goes high. It's 2-0 here to Kalen Culpepper. K-State product coming here to the Cape this season, looking to provide another hit here for Harwich. He's 0 for 3 nonetheless. On second, Camarillo after the throwing error, the first for Orleans here today. Here's the pitch. It goes low on a breaking ball. It's going to be 3-0 here to Culpepper. Yet to see a 3-ball count here today. We'll see what he's capable of here as he may or may not get the green light. Yet to get a hit. We'll see what he ends up producing here. On second, Camarillo, the Harwich Mariners ahead here by 2. Pitch goes on the inner half at the belt. It's 3-1 here on a fastball.
Kennedy Jones awaits on deck out in left field tonight. He's had a decent game. Doubled and scored back in the second. He's 1 for 3 and looking to add some more RBIs to his stat sheet. Hopefully he'll get the chance here.
Ryan with the 3-1. Taken for a strike. On a changeup down the middle, it's 3-2. 4-2 lead for Harwich here in the top of the 7th from Eldridge Park. Sun gradually setting down the right field line here. Harwich wearing its Road Navy uniforms with red block lettering in Harwich across the chest. White outline. Now a pickoff attempt over to third, and they're not going to get him. So a stolen base for Camarillo as he caught the right-handed Ryan off bat, or off the guard, I should say. As there's a runner on third here for Harwich and is 90 feet away from being a 5th run of the ball game.
That was impressive by Camarillo to trust himself that much to beat the pitcher over there, and Dylan Ryan had to step off, but Camarillo was almost already there by the time. Not sure if he was doing an early steal or what.
Payoff pitch. Foul tipped into the glove for strike 3 as Culpepper strikes out for the first time on the evening. Third strikeout here for Orleans pitching, and Ryan's first on the evening as he just entered here in the 7th. The final line on Cam Jones, the first reliever out of the bullpen for Orleans. 2 innings pitched, 1 hit for no earned runs and no runs, 1 walk and 1 strikeout here. As Devin mentioned, Kennedy Jones was on deck. Now he steps in here as the cleanup hitter. First pitch on the way. Chopper over towards the right side. Blake gathers, fires on to first in time. So Harwich bringing 5 to the plate here in the top of the 7th and scoring 1 run on 1 hit, 1 error, and leaving 1 stranded. Harwich ahead 4-2 going into the bottom of the 7th. This is Harwich Mariners baseball on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. Bottom of the 7th, coming your way here from Eldridge Park. 4-2 lead for the Harwich Mariners over the Orleans Firebirds. Fitzgerald, King, and Scannell due up in the bottom, or in the 8th inning, I should say. But first for the Firebirds, Hunter, Olmstead, and Overn. The 8, 9, and 1 hitters due up here. Wyatt Kopelman, Devin Dobeck here with you on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. Martinez, the CS2 Northridge product, delivers the ball low in the dirt for ball number 1 here.
Hunter on the day, singled, swiped a bag, and also grounded out to first.
Here's the pitch, lofted back behind home plate, and it's 1-1 here to Hunter.
Orleans was able to get 2 back, but the Mariners respond with 1 after sloppy defense. There's been a few instances of that.
1-1 goes low and inside. It's 2-1 here to Hunter. single to center back in the second, grounded out to first in the fourth. Harwich had missed a double play opportunity that results in the 2-run home run as next pitch goes just low of the box, and it's 3-1 here. Harwich going out for out last night in order to secure a 4-3 win against Yarmouth Dennis on opening night. Trying to do the same here. 3-ball pitch. Changeup misses low. A 5-pitch walk here to Henry Hunter. He reaches for the second time here today with a leadoff walk.
Not how Martinez wanted to start this inning either. Walked the first hitter he faced in the 6th inning. And then the rest is history from there. They were able to get 2 from the home run. So you want to try and find ways to get outs. Make him put the ball in play. Don't try and pick your spots, although he does have a pair of Ks.
Bunt shown from Oldsted. Not a back pick down to first. And it's not going to be in time. Heads up play that time from the catcher. And Brian Arndt making his league debut here today. His season debut, I should say. Counts 1-0 here to Olmsted. None gone here in the bottom of the 7th from Eldridge Park. Another back pick down to first, and it's not going to be in time again. Arndt certainly adamant about trying to get first out of the inning here. 4-2 lead for Harwich over Orleans.
Got to be careful, though, because that ball gets by Scannell, and that could be an extra 90 feet, if not 180, all the way over to third.
Culpepper playing in at third as Martinez deals it low. It's 3-0 here to Olmsted, hitting in a 9-hole, filling in for Jack Penny.
And these guys at the bottom of the lineup, you do not want to walk. Make them put it in play.
3-ball pitch. Misses low on a fastball. That moves Hunter into second. Back-to-back walks here to start the 7th. Harwich still leading 4-2. You can imagine the pressure that puts on here for Martinez, CSU Northbridge product, a high strikeout thrower. As now Harwich will have Arndt come out to the mound to have a quick word.
As well as the pitching coach headed out there, talk things over with Martinez. He walked the first 2 here in the 7th. That brings the leading run up to the plate. Nobody gone down. You got to find a way to get either a pop out, double play, strikeout, any sort of non-contact out, whatever works. But right now the Mariners in some trouble. They're clinging to that 2-run lead at this point.
Well, if you're just joining us, it was a huge second inning for Harwich, similar to last night in which it scratched across 3 runs. Here today, Harwich getting 2 runs on 3 hits in the second. Now the mound meeting adjourns here as Martinez will stay in the ball game here. 4-2 lead for Harwich as Johnny Olmsted is on first. On second here is Henry Hunter. Back-to-back walks to lead off the 7th. Still none gone. Austin Overn, the leadoff hitter, coming up here with Martinez working out the stretch. He lays down a bunt, and it's going to be deemed foul. That was interesting. It looked as if it stayed between the chalk. Bounced right in front of home plate.
Well, I think what happened is it bounced, came back up, hit the bat again. And so the umpire ruled it foul. That's interesting, though. I've never seen that. I'm surprised it wasn't an out. Hit the bat twice.
2 runs in the second for Harwich, a run in the 4th as well on a 4-6-3 double play, scoring Hunter Fitzgerald's 5-hole hitter here today. Orleans answering with a 2-run blast back in the 6th from Eddie Micheletti. On the 7th here, the pitch, another bunt shown. It goes back behind home plate. Arndt unable to make the squeeze. Consider the value of that potential out, as there's still none away here in the 7th.
That would have been huge, but at least you got 2 strikes on the batter now, so now a bunt attempt would be really risky, because if he fouls it off like he has these prior 2 attempts, he will be out automatically.
None away here in the bottom, the 7th from Orleans, as Harwich has a huge chance to get a couple out here. Runners on first and second against Xavier Martinez, the CSU Northridge pitcher. Pitch, chopped over towards the right side in the glove of Scannell. He fires to second for 1. No throw over to first. Moves a runner down to third and Hunter as Harwich gets the trailing runner in Olmsted as there's runners on the corners with 1 away here in the bottom of the 7th.
You'll take it if you're Harwich. You still got that 2-run lead intact, but someone else 90 feet closer in Henry Hunter.
4-6 put out that time as Austin Overn reaches on the fielder's choice. Eddie King Jr. stepping in for the 4th time here today. Reach on an E4 back in the first. Pickoff attempt back at first, unsuccessful. On third, Hunter on first over in here as King steps in a key spot here as the leading run. Here's the pitch. Runner goes off for second, goes high. Throw down to third now. And they're going to say it's not in time. That was a close pickoff attempt back at third as Arndt pumped to throw down to second. Nonetheless, there are two in scoring position here.
Really great job by Arndt to sell that throw down to second. And then he had it shot at third. If he hesitated a little quicker, probably had the runner dead to rights.
4-2 lead for Harwich. Here's the pitch. Skied back behind home plate. Arndt removes the mask in front of the Firebirds dugout, and he'll let it bounce in the seats. It's 1-1 here to Eddie King Jr. hitting in the 2 spot here today. Reach on an E4 back in the first. Popped out to second to close out the second. Popped out to short, I should say. And flew out to center back in the 5th. 2 on in scoring position here for Orleans, trailing by 2. Here's the pitch from Martinez. Slider misses high and inside. 2 balls and a strike here to Eddie King Jr. King Jr. chose Louisville over Miami. Sends it 6-2, 195. The pitch to the right-hander goes outside at the knees. It's 3-1 here.
Harwich dugout really not pleased with this zone. As you can hear them verbally upset with the home plate umpire. This tight zone.
3-1 on the way. Breaking ball whacked down the left side, and it's going to be 3-2 here. Counts full here to King Jr. Harwich ahead 4-2. Going into the bottom of the 7th here. Martinez trying to work out of a mini jam with 2 on in scoring position. Right-hander deals the payoff pitch. Check swing. He went around. Huge strikeout here for Harwich, pitching the 5th on the evening. And there's 2 away here in the bottom of the 7th.
Yeah, Eddie King got a little excited there, it appears. That's the 4th strikeout now for Martinez, but definitely was ball 4. But got King to go around. So Martinez will be hooked from the game, it appears, by Coach Englert, but great way for him to end.
Steve Englert, the 20th-year head coach for Harwich. Still taking the ball here as a pitching change will be made with 2 away here in the bottom of the 7th. A 4-2 lead for Harwich. This is Harwich Mariners baseball on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. 4-2 lead for Harwich over Orleans here at Eldridge Park. First road game of the season for Harwich. 2 away here in the bottom, the 7th, a pitching change called to the bullpen here. Chris Latito, the 6'1", 195-pound redshirt sophomore of Middletown, New Jersey, the Jacksonville product, went 23 1/3 innings with 36 strikeouts here, set to face Jack Hyde. The line's still open on Xavier Martinez, the first out of the bullpen here for Harwich this evening. Runners in scoring position on third, Hunter, on second, Overn. Here's the first pitch. Raking ball comes down the middle for strike number 1 to Hyde. 0 for 1 today with a pair of walks, looking to either fill the vacant base or drive home 2 runs here for Orleans, trailing by 2 here in the bottom of the 7th. Here's the 0-1 from Latito.
Ooh.
Fastball goes off the outer half. It's 1-1.
I don't know where these pitches are missing. It's got to be the angle we're missing because it looks really good from here.
Hyde, a .320 hitter this season, 57 games at Georgetown. Facing A-Sun product in Latito, 1-1, a healthy hack and a miss. It's 1-2.
Latito inheriting a tough situation with 2 runners in scoring position and the leading run at the plate. But if he can get this out, that would be huge to send into the final 6 outs.
1-2 on the way. Skied over towards the left side, giving Chase Culpepper in foul territory. This will be able to make the play. An F05 in the scorebook. 1 batter, 1 out recorded for Latito in relief to close out the 7th. A huge out for the Mariners to strand 2 in scoring position. 4-2 lead for Harwich going into the 8th. This is Harwich Mariners baseball on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. Four to 2, Harwich lead into the 8th here from Eldridge Park. Chris Latito straining 2 in scoring position as the line closed on Xavier Martinez, the first reliever out of the bullpen for the Mariners here tonight. Due up for Harwich, Hunter Fitzgerald, Seaver King, Matt Scannell. Ryan deals the first pitch. It's roped out towards left field. King Jr. going back at the track, slips, looks up, and it's off the wall. He made a huge dive at the warning track and a leadoff double here for Hunter Fitzgerald. It's his first base knock of the night after 3 straight walks, and Harwich has a runner in scoring position to start off the 8th.
Yeah, it looked like King blew a tire out there in left field. Really bizarre circumstance. But it might have hit him in the leg when the ball came down. He was just very uncomfortable out there. Second mistake he has made in the last complete inning. Of course, he had that strikeout when he had ball 4. His team would have had bases loaded and 1 away. And then he unable to make that play, and there's a runner in scoring position for the M's. So tough stretch for Eddie King Jr.
Seaver King digs back in for the 4th time here tonight. Came across the score on an RBI hit to center field back in the 2nd. Runner in scoring position here with Harwich leading 4-2 in the 8th. The first pitch tapped off the cleat of King as he comes up a bit gimpy.
And you can't blame him. That is not a good feeling.
Leadoff double for Hunter Fitzgerald to start off the 8th inning. Harwich holding a 2-run lead for a game that's been sparse with hitting thus far. 8 combined hits. Harwich getting its 5th to lead off the inning here. Seaver King reaching in all 3 of his plate appearances today. Singled to third back in the 6th. Ryan out of the stretch again. He deals the 0-1. Slider misses high. It's 1-1. Seaver King from Wingate of Division II baseball, standing at 6'0", 190. Played 50 games at Wingate in his 2nd season this year. 20 doubles, 5 triples, and 11 home runs. Here's the 1-1. Chop back and up to the glove of Ryan as he moves to his left, tosses to first underhanded, and that moves Fitzgerald over to third. 1-3 put out, and there's one away here in the 8th, and now the 5th run for Harwich standing 90 feet away.
Another hard hit ball for King, though. He's looked good here in his debut, and he was able to get the runner over to third, so got to be satisfied with that.
That brings up Matt Scannell, the Princeton product, for the 4th time here tonight. Double to center field back in the 2nd. Walked in the 4th and grounded out 1-6-3 in the 6th as he takes one for a ball upstairs.
Just find a way to put it in play and get that run home. You need the insurance. You saw Orleans can still threaten. They did it last inning as well as before in the game.
1-0 misses outside of the belt, 2-0. 4-2 lead for Harwich. 4 runs on 5 hits, 1 error committed for the Mariners. 2 runs on 3 hits, 1 error committed for Orleans. On third, Fitzgerald after doubling to left to lead off the 8th here. Here's the pitch. Rocketed out towards left field, over and running back to the wall. And that one's going to get down for a base hit at the warning track. Coming across the score easily, Fitzgerald coasting into second, Scannell with a 1-out RBI double. And the Princeton product scratches across the 5th run of the night for Harwich. It's 5-2 here in the 8th.
Beautiful piece of hitting, just throwing the hands at that baseball and letting it fly out there in the gap in left center field. Matt Scannell really showing up here in the 2nd game of the season. Big knock. And now we'll see if Harwich can add even more to their lead. They're up 5-2 now, though.
Scannell with the RBI double here in the 8th after Fitzgerald led off the inning with a double to left as well. Brian Arntz, the catcher, back up. He sees a slider that misses high at the letters for ball number 1. Arntz on the afternoon, 1 for 3, grounded out 4-6-3 in the 4th, flew out to left back in the 6th. 1 away, 1 on in scoring position. Scannell, Harwich ahead 5-2 on Orleans. Here's the 1-0. Fastball misses inside. It's 2-0 here. Scannell on second. Harwich getting its 6th hit on the afternoon. Harwich had gone on a 3-inning hitting drought. Go dating back to the 2nd, scored its first 2 runs on 3 hits. Ryan looks back at second, deals the pitch. Line back up the middle and through for a base hit past the diving glove of Furrow. Rounding third is Scannell as he gets the wave around sign. He will score standing up. RBI single with 1 out, coming across again for Harwich here in the 8th, now leading 6-2 on what's turned into a 2-run frame thus far.
Have a game. Brian Arndt now cashes in for his 3rd RBI of the game. He's been spectacular, continuing to keep the heat on, and Harwich extends their lead to 4. Really great job by Arndt that time.
RBI single for Arndt once again here in the 8th. As Eric Orado, the 9-hole hitter, will dig in for the 4th time here today. Grounded out to third back in the 2nd, walked with 2 outs in the 4th, reached as a hits batsman to lead off the 7th.
Just replacing third base, it kind of came undone over there. Coach Tebow of the Mariners pitching in, and we should be good to go once again.
Opportunity to keep the line moving here for Harwich, despite a runner being out of scoring position in Brian Arndt. Orado making his season debut here for Harwich today, leading 6-2 here in the top of the 8th. First pitch to Orado, taken for a strike low. Orado, a rising senior at Northern Illinois, started all 53 games this season. Now a runner taken off for second, the throw, and they're going to get him in a rundown. Brian Arntz, a throw back to first, and the first baseman Hyde tags him as he tries darting back to the bag. Caught stealing that time, and now there are 2 away here in the 8th, with Harwich leading by 4.
Yeah, just a tough break for Brian Arndt that time. Got caught in the middle. Tried to get a jump early and just didn't execute. Nice job by Orleans to communicate and record that out.
Pair of RBI hits here, vaulting Harwich ahead 6-2. Now the base is empty here as Arado watches it go inside at the belt. It's 1-1 here. 2-run frame thus far here in the 8th after a leadoff double from Hunter Fitzgerald. Harwich leading 6-2, 6 runs and 7 hits. 1 error for the Mariners, 2 runs on 3 hits as he chops this one over towards the left side. Furrow scooping, firing to first, and it's just in time for the final out of the inning. Caught stealing the first for Harwich here today, coming back to bite them and outwasted as Harwich brings 5 to the plate, scores 2 runs on 2 hits, rather 3 hits, no errors, and leaves none stranded. 6-2 lead for Harwich going into the home half of the 8th here from Eldridge Park as you listen to Harwich Mariners baseball on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. Chris Latito, the Harwich Mariners, second one out of the bullpen here today for the Mariners. Back on the hill for his second inning of work, got the final out of the 7th on foul out, and digging in here for the Firebirds. Going to be a pinch hitter here. The first pitch from Latito, curveball misses high above the letters for ball number 1. Pinch hitter here for Orleans, Jake Casey, the outfielder. Latito with the 1-0, it goes foul tipped back behind home plate, and it's 1-1 here. So he fills in for Drew Metzdorf. Closes out at 0 for 2, reached on a fielder's choice back in the 6th after popping out and striking out swinging. The 1-1 from the right-hander Latito. Breaking ball comes down to shoot at the knees, and it goes to 1-2. Casey, the Kent State product, native of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, just about 90 minutes away from Kent State. Graduate of Upper St. Clair High School. Pitch, skied out towards right center field. Running back Arado, looking up at the warning track, leaps up, and that ball is out of here. A solo shot for Jake Casey in pitch-hitting fashion as the Firebirds have their second home run on the night, and Harwich Mariners' lead has been trimmed down to 3 as it's 6-3 with a leadoff home run from Casey.
Yeah, I guess tip your hat to Kelly Nichols there. Able to put in the right guy, and he just puts a beautiful swing on this one, carries it way out there. That's past 360 out there in right center field.
Now it's over to Eddie Micheletti, another home run hitter in this game as he watches it go low for ball 1.
And if you think back, not that hindsight will ever help you in baseball, but if excuse me, if Eddie King does not strike out, and then you got that big batter going in against Latito and Casey, who knows what could happen? The story of the ball game could be much different. So important that Latito was able to get out of the last inning. He'll give up a solo shot.
1-1 from Latito, the Jacksonville product, taken on the lower half on a fastball. 1-2 the count here between Latito and Eddie Micheletti. Singled to shortstop back in the first. Here's the pitch. Fastball misses high and away, and it's 3-2. You notice Latito is working quite quickly. He was one of the top closers in A-Sun baseball this season for Jacksonville. A team that certainly had Chris Armstrong in the lineup to look to. Pitch, skied and over towards the left side. A leaping catch by Kalen Culpepper at third. Just about 5 feet in front of the lip of the outfield grass. It looked as if it was skied, but not too high for Culpepper as he climbs to the top shelf, and there's one away here in the 8th.
I tell you, that left side between Camarillo and Culpepper has been really hard to get through. They are just absolute magnets for the baseball. Culpepper showing off his vertical there, pulling that one down. A beautiful catch and a tough first out.
First pitch on the way to Andy Blake, the right-hander, goes low on a breaking ball for ball number 1. Solo home run here in the 8th has Orleans trailing by 3 to Harwich. Home opener for the Firebirds here at Eldridge Park. 1-0. Fastball goes low. It's 2-0. Solo home run from Jake Casey after a 2-run bomb from Eddie Micheletti with none away back in the 6th. Here's the 2-0. Breaking ball tapped over towards the left side. It ranges foul in front of the Mariners dugout, and it's 2-1. Blake 0 for 3 here today, certainly due for a hit. Flew out to center field back in the 1st and the 4th. Struck out looking back in the 6th. Now the 2-1 from Latito. Swing and a miss. It's going to be 2-2. 6 runs on 7 hits, 1 error for Harwich. 3 runs on 4 hits, 1 error for Orleans. A home run in the last two home runs in the last 3 innings. Here's the pitch. Skied out towards left field. It's going to go well foul. 2-2 the count still here to Andy Blake.
Sun just about to set over the school here right behind Eldridge Park, and those lights should be coming on shortly, although we only have an inning plus of baseball left to play.
Blake 2-2 watches it go high. Goes to 3-2. Hopewell Township, New Jersey native is Blake. At Duke, transferring after 4 years with Columbia now. Hit .366 for the Lions this season. Here's the payoff pitch from Latito. Roped high and deep out towards left center field, not too deep for Humphrey as he moves to his right. He makes the catch, and there are 2 away here in the 8th.
Nice play that time by Humphrey, ranging over to his right. He was able to haul it in. Another high, deep drive, though. Off the bat, looked like he could have had a chance, but about 10 feet in front of the warning track that time was Humphrey there to make the play. Latito, he throws it so hard, and these pitchers, when they can time it up, such a flat pitch, they've been having success getting some air under it.
Ball 1 outside to Drew Farrell, the 7-hole hitter. 2 straight retired here for Latito, an L5, and a fly out to center here. Latito with the 1-0. Fastball dips low, goes to 2.
He's struggling with falling behind hitters. It has not fared him well to this point. See if he can battle back. It's going to be difficult with that tight zone.
2 on the way from Latito. Fastball outside, 3-0. Harwich climbing ahead first in this ball game. 2 runs on 3 hits back in the 2nd. Brian Arendt with an RBI base knock. Orleans having answers late here. 3-0 on the way. Fastball down the middle. Get me over fastball. It's 3-1. Farrow in the 7-hole here today. Grounded out to second in the 2nd. Grounded out to short back in the 4th. Struck out looking back in the 6th. 3-1 on the way. Fastball goes outside of the belt. 2-out walk here for Farrow as he earns his first base reach opportunity on the night.
Stinks to lose him, but you still got 2 outs. Just focus on the batter and don't let this get out of hand. It's the bottom 2 guys in the order, so just continue to throw strikes and you should be able to get out of this. Plus you got a 3-run cushion that your offense has provided you after they came back to life in the last couple innings.
Now Arendt will have a quick word with Latito on the mound here, as well as the Harwich pitching coach After giving up a 2-run out, or a 2-out walk, I should say. Likely just to be a discuss of mechanics here. I believe a left-hander is going down for Harwich in the bullpen. 2 outs. Hunter stepping up here for the 4th time on the evening. Latito needing 1 more out to get out of the 8th here, with Harwich leading 6-3. Harwich trying to move to 2-0 on the season. On first, Farrow, the shortstop. First pitch. Lofted foul down the left field line. For strike 1 here to Henry Hunter. Hitting in the 8-hole here today. Got started with a hit to center field back in the 2nd. Grounded out to first in the 4th. Earned a walk back in the 7th. Looks to capitalize here. 0-1. High and outside. Almost a back pick attempt from Arndt. It's going to be 1-1 here.
Really difficult with a left-hander in the left-hander's batter's box, though, because the snap throw, they are right in the way indirectly. So, unfortunate Arndt didn't have a shot there. Would have been interesting.
1-1. Slider down the middle. It's 1-2. Farrow with a strong lead off of first. Firebirds have had their chances here today, Devin, most notably back in the 1st. Left the bases stranded. Left 2 on in the 2nd as well. 2 home runs in the last 3 innings. Pitch. High on a fastball above the letters. It's 2-2.
Yeah.
6-3 lead for Harwich here. 7 hits for the Mariners, 4 for the Firebirds. Latito working out of the stretch. Jacksonville product gets the signs, 2-2. Breaking ball on the upper half as it gets called looking. Hunter got caught watching for too long as Latito picks up his first strikeout in a Harwich Mariners uniform this season. But nonetheless, 1 run on 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left on for Orleans to pull to within 3 going into the final frame here at Eldridge Park. 6-3 lead for Harwich over Orleans. You're listening to Harwich Mariners Baseball on the Harwich Mariners Radio Network. Three-run lead for Harwich going into the top of the 9th here at Eldridge Park. But first, a pitching change, and the call to the bullpen goes to Trevin Hope here for Orleans, the right-hander of Lewis Clark, staying at 6'6", 195, as he will face Jacob Humphrey, Ali Camarillo, and Kalen Culpepper to get going here in the 9th. The tall right-hander deals the first pitch. Chopped over towards the left side. Diving play for Olmsted as it gets into left field for a leadoff base hit and a hard hit base hit as well. Humphrey picks up his first hit on the afternoon.
First hit of the season at that. Got to feel good to get that monkey off his back. Been in the leadoff spot. So much expected from him. That was his 10th at-bat and finally able to get that first hit. Congratulations to him.
The UMass Lowell product reaches base for the first time today. After starting with a strikeout looking, a line out, a ground out, and a foul out back in the 7th. Now the first pitch to Camarillo is lined over into shallow center field. It bounces for a base hit. Stopping at second. Humphrey, the throwback to second, is not going to be in time for a tag. Back-to-back base hits to start the 9th here, and the line is moving already for Harwich with still none gone. A bloop single that time from Camarillo. His second hit on the afternoon after starting 0 for 3, singled to shortstop back in the 7th, I should say. As that sets up a prime opportunity for Kalen Culpepper to avenge an 0 for 4 start here today. Trevin Hope already working out of the stretch here, bringing the final line on Ryan, second out of the Orleans bullpen in a moment. Right-hander deals the first pitch to Culpepper. Goes low for a skip in the dirt for ball number 1. Ryan went 2 innings, 4 hits, 3 runs, 2 earned runs. No walks and 1 strikeout here. None gone here with Harwich ahead over Orleans, 6-3 in the top of the 9th. 2 on here, Humphrey on second, Camarillo on first. Hope deals the 1-0. Lined over towards the middle infield and over towards Furrow at short. No throw made. As the bases are loaded here on an infield single here for Kalen Culpepper as he picks up his first hit on the afternoon, and he gets his first hit on the season as well. Humphrey leads it off with a hit, and Culpepper loads the bases here in the 9th.
Interesting sequence there. I'm not sure exactly how it happened, but he'll take it. Must have kicked off the mound funny or a sprinkler head because that was really bizarre. His first hit of the season as well.
Humphrey over to third, Camarillo on second, Culpepper on first. In what's already turned to a major jam here for Hope. First pitch swung on and missed on a breaking ball for strike number 1 to Kennedy Jones, the cleanup hitter. Started today with a double to right field back in the 2nd after Harwich went down 1-2-3 in the opening frame. He's grounded out twice and struck out looking since as he's 1 for 4 here. Biggest at-bat yet for him and the Harwich Mariners this season. Pitch. Lofted back behind home plate, and it goes well foul. It's going to be 0-2 here. It's to be forced to protect. 6-3 lead for Harwich here in the top of the 9th. 10 runs for the Mariners, rather 10 hits for the Mariners, 4 hits for Orleans. 3 straight singles to start off the 9th here as Harwich is looking for insurance runs again. 0-2. Line through and for a base hit into right field. One comes across the score, and Humphrey right behind him is Camarillo. And now there are 2 on in scoring position here for Harwich on a 2-run single, rather 2-1 double, I should say, for Kennedy Jones, the cleanup hitter, as Harwich extends its lead to 8-3 here in the 9th.
Really nice piece of hitting that time from Jones. He's got some incredible opposite field power. We saw him do it back in the 2nd inning, and he does it here again. This time drives in 2 runs. He's having a tremendous game. A little uncomfortable getting into second. Did the splits a little bit, but seems to be okay.
Still none away here as Harwich pads its lead. As Kenny Lavari, left-hander, will step in to pinch hit here for Hunter Fitzgerald. None away here in the 9th, a Harwich 8-3 lead. The first pitch to Lavari, line through and for a base hit into left field. One comes across the score in Culpepper as Kennedy Jones will follow him through. And a huge opportunity here as Harwich scores 2 to get a 10-3 lead here in the 9th.
5 straight hits to open up the 9th. Where's this been all night? I mean, just crazy how they're opening up some serious pressure. Not the right pitching decision for Kelly Nichols.
Jones only going into third on the RBI single. So only 1 scoring in Culpepper, Jones at third, and Lavari at first. The first pitch on the way to Seaver King, and it goes low for ball number 1. RBI base hit to left field, scoring 1 in Culpepper and putting runners on the corner here for the Wingate product. Hope deals the 1-0, lofted into center field. Over and moving to his left, he makes the catch. Tagging from third will be Jones as he will cross the plate standing up. Harwich now leading 10-3 in what's turned into a 4-run frame. And it's been 3 combined over the last 2 innings and what's turned into 3 here in the 9th for a 10-3 lead.
Yeah, really something special here to add some insurance. Now in the 9th inning, you can kind of play a little more reserved. Of course, you want to record the outs, but much less pressure than if it were a 3-run game. Of course, the save way out of question at this point.
First pitch swung on and missed from Matt Scannell. Had an RBI double to left field back in the 8th to score Hunter Fitzgerald. It's Lavari on first here after a huge RBI hit. Here's the pitch. Lofted down the left field line, and it's going to hook well foul. Strike 1 here to Matt Scannell, the Princeton product. Has 2 hits on the day, walked back in the 4th, grounded out 1-6-3 back in the 6th.
Around the league, Katua on top of YD, 8-6 in the bottom of the 9th at Red Wilson Field. Falmouth and Bourne knotted at 2 in the bottom of the 5th out at Arnie Allen Diamond. And Chatham on top of Brewster 2-1 in the top of the 2nd from Veterans Field.
0-1 from Hope, and it goes high. It's 1-1 here.
Finally, Hyannis on top of Wareham, 6-4 in the top of the 5th from Spillane Field in Wareham. It's a 1-2 count to Scannell.
Righty-lefty battle here. Scannell swings and misses on the 1-2 offering. Strikeout number 1 here for Hope after Leiter, Jones, and Ryan tag teamed for 3-1 each. And there's finally 1 away here in the 9th after Harwich pushes across 4 runs.
Actually the second out because of the sac fly that was hit the batter before, Seaver King. But nonetheless, Harwich really putting the pressure on the 8th batter to come up in the inning.
First pitch watched at outside for Brian Arntz for ball 1. 10-3 lead for Harwich on a 4-run frame here in the 9th. 12 hits for the Mariners. And what's been huge here with 4 hits thus far. Pitch taken on the lower half. It's 1-1 here to Arntz. 5 hits here in the frame for the Mariners. Arntz stepping back up for the 5th time here today. 2 hits, grounded out 4-6-3 back in the 4th, flew out to left back in the 6th. The pitch swung on a miss on a slider. It's 1-2. The sacrifice fly scoring Kennedy Jones. 2 away here after Hope got his first strikeout here to retire Matt Scannell. On first, Lavari. Here's the pitch. Line back behind home plate. 1-2 here.
So there you go. Got to keep going if you're the Mariners. Get some confidence before heading into a big game tomorrow against Falmouth coming to White House. Out of conference match.
Mariners won 4-3 last night in the driver's seat here. It's fouled back into the screen. We'll do it again at 1-2. Harwich going to 2 pitchers out of the bullpen, 3 pitchers for Orleans out of the bullpen. Chris Latito pitching 1 1/3 here. Right now it's up to Hope to get out of this jam. Pitch, skied out towards right field, chasing back Micheletti at the warning track. He makes the catch in front of the fence for the final out of the inning. Harwich, nonetheless, scoring 4 runs on 5 hits and leaving 1 on. A huge inning for the Mariners, now leading 10-3 going into the bottom of the 9th. This is Harwich Mariners baseball on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. Chandler Marsh now onto the mound here for Harwich to try and close it out here in the 9th inning. Third call to the bullpen here for Steve Englert after Chris Latito pitches 1 1/3 innings. Allowing 1 run on 1 hit, a solo home run. First pitch from Marsh, swung on and missed. Johnny Olmstead, the 9-hole hitter here in the box for Orleans, wearing 8 white jerseys for Orleans here tonight. The 0-1 on the way from March, chopped over towards the right side, gloved by Scannell, raced over to the bag himself. 1 away, Orleans down to its final 2 chances here in the 9th, trailing Harwich 10-3 after a 4-run 9th inning on 5 hits.
So here you go, 2 more outs. Cement another win against the team that's in front of you right now in the standings. Keep an eye on Brewster game as well. Tied for first. They're down 2-1 to the Anglers.
Chandler Marsh at 6'4", 228, the right-hander out of Georgia, as he bounces one low for ball number 1 to Austin Overn. Pitched 2 2/3 innings back on May 6th against Tennessee. Harwich needing him just to get 2 more outs here after a ground out at first for Johnny Olmstead. Overn up for the 5th time here tonight. Lofts it over towards the left side and into the glove of Culpepper. Kalen Culpepper is active as he was last night at shortstop, getting the starting nod at third here today. 2 away on 3 pitches here in the 9th.
Yeah, he's been real efficient. Keep this going. Eddie King Jr. the last light for the Firebirds, but Marsh seems so locked in right now. What a way for him to come in. No pressure, a 7-run lead, and he's just rolling.
Marsh with a 5.46 ERA in his 2nd year with the Bulldogs this season. King watches it low below the knees for ball 1. 10-3 lead for Harwich here in the bottom of the 9th from Eldridge Park. 2 away. Last chance here, an Eddie King Jr. in a righty-righty battle. 1-0 on the way. Fastball misses low. It's 2-0. King Jr. reaching on an error by the second baseman in King back in the 1st. He's flown out twice, struck out swinging back in the 7th. No one on here for Orleans, trailing by 7. Marsh, the pitch goes high. It's 3-0.
Got to just settle in and find it. Pitch your way out of it. Cool to be in these situations with no one on base and a comfortable lead.
46 strikeouts this year at Georgia for Marsh. He deals the next pitch outside. 4-pitch walk here. He's unable to strike out King Jr., if not retire him. And there's a 2-out base runner here for Orleans. Still trailing 10-3, Devin. Game's never over until it's over. Of course, a pitch clock in baseball not governing the pace of play with a particular number of batters to come, however.
Yeah, so here we go. Jake Hyde is going to try and keep this rally going.
Runner taken off for second as Hyde takes it on the outer half. Easy steal that time from Eddie King Jr., probably the easiest we may see all season.
Yeah, he'll take it. It's good for the stat pad. But yeah, Harwich really only concerned about the batter.
Here's the pitch from Marsh, swung on and missed. It's 1-1 here.
Just a couple strikes away for win number 2.
Rather 2-0 here as Marsh looks back at second, out working out of the stretch. Deals the pitch, goes high. It's 3-0 here. Jake Hyde, the first baseman here for Orleans. As it's going to be 1-2 here.
It's tough. We can't see the scoreboard.
Marsh looking for the strikeout here. Pitch is popped up back behind home plate over towards the Harwich dugout. And it's going to take a bounce in foul territory. Rather, it's going to be caught by the third baseman in Culpepper. The Mariners win 10-3 here at Orleans and win in convincing fashion. 10 runs on 12 hits, 1 error committed for Harwich, 3 runs on 4 hits, 1 error for Orleans. Huge opportunity for Chandler Marsh. He comes in and he picks up not a 1-2-3 job, but he faces 4 batters, and despite allowing the 2-out walk, Harwich emerges victorious here on the road and moves to 2-0 in the season. We'll step aside for a moment and break it all down on either side of this break. This is Harwich Mariners Baseball on the Harwich Mariners YouTube Network. 10-3 win for Harwich, moving to 2-0 on the season. 10 runs and 12 hits, 1 error for the Mariners against the Orleans Firebirds. Today's winning pitcher for the Mariners, Xavier Martinez, the CSU Northridge product, with 2 2/3 innings pitched, relieving Tim Noon of Babson College after 4 innings. 2 hits for Noon, 3 walks, 4 strikeouts for Martinez all the while. And Devin, if you consider how Harwich built off of last night, it got a 4-inning shutout out of Sam Armstrong of Old Dominion. 17 of 20 were retired from Harwich pitching from the 1-out mark of the first going into the 6th. Today was a little bit different. The Orleans Firebirds striking back in the 6th with a 2-run home run from Eddie Micheletti, a solo home run from Jake Casey in the 8th before Harwich was able to add 4 runs on 5 hits in the 9th. It's that kind of explosiveness that Harwich needs out of the bats when the pitching starts to waver a bit.
Yeah, it was a much different pace than yesterday. We saw them strike for offense early and then kind of tune out the rest of the game. But here tonight, what they did was they just consistently were able to produce and rely on each other and move runners from point A to point B, capitalizing on opportunities. Everything was fantastic. Really pleased with what they did, and they should be too. Everybody contributing top to bottom in the lineup.
10-3 win for Harwich here on the road. First road win on the season, considering the losing pitcher in Cam Leiter, the UCF transfer, gave up the 3 earned runs early on as he was unable to recover. Lifted after 4 innings for Jones for Orleans. Gave up no earned runs, 1 hit, 1 walk, 1 strikeout. The strikeout's not emergent for Orleans here tonight. Meanwhile, for Harwich, you get 4 strikeouts out of Xavier Martinez, certainly confidence-inducing in the bullpen, as Harwich was able to hold up and not leaving too many on base, Devin. Only 6 left aboard, considering how many were left on base last night.
Yeah, I mean, it goes back to that production and getting able to capitalize on the opportunities that you're given. Harwich did just that here tonight, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what they do going forward. You got Falmouth coming up tomorrow. That'll be a tough contest. But this team, if they're continuing to produce on offense, the pitching will come. We've seen it be shaky. The controls been a little all over the place, but the offense was there tonight, and they were able to hold on. 2-0 is the record now.
So the Mariners will head back to White House Field tomorrow night for their second home contest on the season against the Falmouth Commodores. Harwich wins 10-3. The final time the lines, 10 runs on 12 hits, 1 error committed for Harwich, 3 runs on 4 hits, 1 error for Orleans, as Orleans drops to 1-1 on the season. The losing pitcher, the starter in Cam Leiter, after 4 innings, he was pulled with 3 earned runs allowed on 2 hits, 4 walks, and 1 strikeout. Harwich moves to 2-0 on the season. 1-0 on the road, 1-0 at home. Tim Noon giving 4 innings of a start. Meanwhile, it was Martinez picking up the win after 2 2/3 innings pitched with 2 earned runs allowed. Nonetheless, 1 hit, 3 walks, and 4 strikeouts. Chris Latito pitching 1 1/3 innings. He got 1 earned run on 1 hit, 1 walk, 1 strikeout. And Chandler Morse, the Georgia product, facing only 4 in the 9th inning after Harwich posted 4 runs in the top half of the 9th. Marsh not getting a strikeout as he had done so often at Georgia this season. He gave up a walk, but nonetheless got 3 outs around that on a ground out, a line out, and a pop out over at third base. One final time, 10-3 Harwich wins. For our producer Sean Sears and for my broadcast partner Devin Dobick, I'm Wyatt Copeland saying so long from Eldridge Park. The Harwich Mariners win 10-3 here on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network.